There he goes, DaRon Bland, our player of the game here on Cowboys OT. When we come back, we're going to hear from head coach Mike McCarthy on the Cowboys' 33-10 win over the Carolina Panthers right after this.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys take down the Carolina Panthers, their second straight win, and they continue to play well on both sides of the football. It was the defense that set the tone today. Let's hear from the head coach, Mike McCarthy, at Bank of America Stadium following the win.
I feel like we came here and did what we needed to do.
DaRon Bland defended today, except for this time, he's DaRon Bland instead of the other defensive backs, and he's able to close that separation that was created initially at the line of scrimmage. That advantage that was in the beginning ended up being a disadvantage.
Yeah, it really was a good day defensively. Micah Parsons setting a new career high with his 3 sacks as well. We've got plenty more to come here on Cowboys OT. When we come back, we're going to hear from Dak Prescott. He didn't necessarily light up the box score like he has been, but he took care of the football and led this Cowboys team to a big 33-10 win. Well, it wasn't another 300-yard passing game for Dak Prescott. He finished with 189, but he had 2 passing touchdowns, did not throw an interception in the Cowboys' 23-point victory over the Carolina Panthers. Here's what he had to say out in Charlotte.
Taking care of it the way you needed to in this game?
Yeah, I mean, every week is about handling business, coming in, getting the win. Obviously, I understood the challenge in this week. Honestly, not even looking forward to Thanksgiving yet. It was about focusing where we were. If you look on paper, right, a lesser opponent, but we knew we had to come in noon start, something that we don't do too often. So had to get going fast and not take them lightly and keep the focus high. And yeah, got the job done. To say it was clean and to say that we did exactly what we wanted to do, I can't say that. Got to go look at the film, but you'll take the win any way we can get it. It was a good win. Got to heighten the focus a little bit. I know on our side of the ball, whether it be a 12 o'clock game, whether it be the lesser opponent, who knows. But it was communicated. It was communicated throughout the game. Guys answered that challenge, and played better and went and got the dub. And when we needed to make plays, we needed to get – they made it a 7-point game, needed to convert third downs, needed to score. We went and did that and answered. Defense made it a bigger lead there, and from there we were able to, finish it off.
Clarence Hill, Four-Star Telegram. What would they do to limit the passing game and talk about the importance of getting Pollard in the running game off?
Yeah, I mean, they've got a great rush over there. Obviously, interior, Burns on the outside. They've got a great rush. So it wasn't giving me the cleanest look that much time. You've got kind of a clock in your head, and they're doing a good job there. But as I said, guys answered the challenge, clean that up, allow us to start getting some opportunities outside. And we at that point we took advantage, converted third downs, as I said. But it was huge for us to get the run game going there, to obviously get the favorable matchups we want outside, get them in more of run-stopping defenses so we could attack where we wanted to.
Side, you see the Athletic. Dak, obviously you guys went down, got a big touchdown to go up 24-10. To see Duran then come back on the next drive and do what he did, how impressive has he been, and how much of an asset to the offense is he in that way?
Yeah, I mean, he's scoring touchdowns, and at that point, yeah, he's a part of the offense when he's getting in the end zone as much as he is. I'm always communicating with the guys, and I had watched these guys much on TV or checked out their offense. I asked, was he going to get an opportunity at one, and he told me he was going to get one. And so just laughing in the locker room post game, he said, "I told you I was going to get one." I said, "I didn't know you were going to score." And his expectations, his standards, he said, that comes with it, and that's just great to hear. That's what he believes in. Ball guy, you put it near him, inaccurate with a throw. Trust me, I've known it from the time that he showed up, just practice against the guy. He's a big-time playmaker, and he's doing a hell of a job, and proud of him, happy for him.
And before the game with Jimmy and Jerry and everything, what was that like for you? Did you guys know at all? Did you have any heads up? And I mean, just how was that whole before the game experience?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know the news until Clarence actually just told me walking in. I saw him in the locker room cameras, and it's just another day being a Dallas Cowboy. So for me, obviously, it was cool. Obviously, I met him, but to shake his hand again, him have some kind words to say, him and Jerry both just before the game, was cool.
Hey, Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. You want to enjoy this game, obviously. How quickly and what's the process as far as enjoying this and flipping the switch to Washington Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, being a noon game, we can enjoy it for the rest of the day, but come tomorrow morning, it's on to Washington, obviously on a quick week. Monday's essentially Thursday, right? So, got to get in, get the film study, make sure we compact it, get what we got to get done to be prepared for these guys. Division opponent had beat us the last time we played them, focus will be high. Damn sure for my part. I know the rest of the guys, that'll be my job as a leader, is making sure guys understand that. Once again, you're looking on paper, their record, lesser opponent. But we've got to come in, division opponent, be who we are, take care of business on Thanksgiving, then we can enjoy our holidays the right way.
I like that mindset from Dak Prescott. Let's just take care of business and then enjoy the holiday here on Thanksgiving week. Nate Newton knows a thing or two about Thanksgiving. We have Isaiah Stanback as well. Nate, what did you see from Dak Prescott in this game today that impressed you most?
Just being consistent. That's what we look for from him, is for him to be consistent. This guy, man, he started about 4 or 5 games moving around, extending plays. He helped the offensive line tremendously today. They gave up no sacks, even though he had a few pressures. Man, don't let the less than 200 yards scare you. It's the no interceptions that make the deal, and Isaiah will speak on that.
Yeah, it just really came down to the decision-making for me. I was a little concerned with Dak coming into this game because the Carolina Panthers gave up the least amount of passing yards per game out of any team in the NFL. I think it was about 175. And they also played the second most zone in the entire NFL, which is something that Dak Prescott historically has struggled with. All right, the last few games he's been going against man. He's been killing everybody in that regard. But against zone teams, he usually has a little bit of an issue seeing the zone. But today he didn't have that problem. He was able to identify the zone. He was able to make smart decisions. There was a couple times where you saw where he actually wanted to go and he kind of pulled it down and took the safe play instead of going ahead and forcing it. As he continues to develop, as he continues to make smarter decisions, he's going to continue to put his team in a position to be successful as he did today.
You've been really on top of it in terms of his decision-making in the past, but you've also been very complimentary of what he's been over these last now month of the regular season. When it comes to decision-making, where do you feel like he's taken the biggest step?
He's just thinking about the consequences. You know, I mean, he's made the forced plays in the past. He's seen the positive and the negative from that. And as you know, those lower percentage plays, you know, sometimes you just have to take the sack, or sometimes you just have to get out the pocket and throw it away, or throw it in the ground. And that's exactly what he's starting to do now. And because of that, he's able to give Coach McCarthy nice, manageable down the distances and put his team in a positive position.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the biggest game from a statistic standpoint, but the way that he took care of the football and continued the march down the field, couple long drives for the Dallas offense, allowed for that offensive line to get some rhythm, and we'll talk a little bit later on about that as well. When we come back, though, we go back to the defensive side of the football. The Cowboys pass rush had their way with Bryce Young. We're going to talk about DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons when we come back. The Cowboys pass rush finished with 6 sacks of Bryce Young in the 33-10 win over the Carolina Panthers. Let's hear from one of the members of that pass rush and one that ended up with a sack, and that was DeMarcus Lawrence after the win.
Let's talk about the importance of taking care of business here, focusing on this.
Yeah, we understand what's ahead of us, the stretch that we have to go on, and, you know, just being able to go out and play complimentary football, keep stacking these wins, and building the confidence around this team is what we need heading into the stretch.
I mean, because you could have took this for granted. You could have, you know, obviously got your focus off, but y'all kind of methodically took care of business.
Yeah, man. You know, and Carolina came out and gave us a good shot. You know, they was playing some hard-nosed football, but, you know, at the end of the day, we came out with the win, and that's the most important
thing. What did you know about Jimmy Johnson coming to the Ring of Honor, and what did you think about him coming to the locker room with Jerry making that announcement?
Yeah, man, you know, didn't hear about it when I first arrived, but, you know, just seeing Jimmy in the locker room, kind of figured out, you know, what was going on, putting two and two together, and, you know, definitely excited for him and his family. Feel like it's well-deserved for him, and, yeah, he don't made it.
He don't made it.
You talked about Micah last week, those early sacks. How much was that setting the tone for you guys?
Oh, man, it was beautiful. You know, just believing in our game plan, trusting in Q, making the calls, and going out there and execute.
Use offensive line, but they have enough speed, enough athleticism to make these. Did I pronounce that right?
Athleticism.
Yeah, well, I'm proud of myself. Enough of that right there to make this thing work. They're quick, they're explosive, and they take advantage of the situation. But they also maintain their leverage and their gaps when they're doing this right here. And that's what makes them so special when they getting out to the pass. And yes, the lead helps.
Oh, yeah, the lead definitely helps when it comes to that. And I had an old coach by Rob Marinelli. He used to say for the defensive line, you have to earn the right to rush. And that's exactly what these guys did. Early on, they struggled a little bit with the running game, but they made those second half adjustments. And those 3rd and 4s and 3rd and 3s that Carolina was able to make in the first half turned it into 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s. And that feeds right into Dan Quinn's defense. It allows those guys to hunt, and that's exactly what they did to the tune of 6 sacks this afternoon.
And you got to remember, is when you get those sacks. You remember the first 3 series, all of them was 3rd down sacks. That's changing the ball. That's turning the ball over to your offense. That was a great thing today.
I feel like we're putting together a good idea for like a trendy T-shirt. You have to earn the right to rush. Yeah. Athleticism from Nate Newton. There's a couple things we can maybe put on the front of a T-shirt as we go along throughout the season. Yeah. When we come back here on Cowboys OT, we're going to hear from Tony Pollard. He had his first rushing touchdown since week 1. Barry Church loved that one.
Yes,
We'll tell you about it when we come back on Cowboys OT. Cowboys OT rolls on from the Star in Frisco, 33-10. The final scores, the Cowboys take down the Carolina Panthers. Let's hear from Tony Pollard, who found pay dirt for the first time since week 1.
Tony, can you walk us through your 21-23-yard touchdown run, what you saw, how to feel to kind of put that on film?
I mean, coach did a great job, getting us a great play in. O-line, they cleared things out, gave me a good lane to run through, and just being physical, running through arm tackle, and then just making something happen.
What did it feel like to have that play, given the juncture in the game? Carolina had just kind of put it in the touchdown.
It was big, especially for the momentum of the game. They were just coming off a touchdown, getting into a one-score game. So, it was big for us to go down there and get those points.
You hadn't had a run like that in about 6 games. How did that feel?
Man, it felt great. Felt great, just being in the open field, making plays, and getting in the end zone.
You guys have looked at 100 yards rushing the second straight week. Talk about what's working in the run game now.
Just figuring out what works for us, what we like to run, what we block best, what we do best, and, just getting in rhythm.
What is that for you?
What do you mean?
Like, what works best for you in this iteration of the offense?
Just mixing it up, mixing up the runs that we call, keeping the defenses guessing, whether we run the outside run, pitches, or running through the middle, just keeping them on their toes.
You guys have a quick turnaround. Thanksgiving, you got to watch the match. What's the biggest key as far as being able to enjoy this win, but flipping the switch quickly, knowing that in 4 games you got to get back on the field?
As soon as we get to Dallas, it's back to work. It's a work day as soon as we touch down, so we got to be ready for next week.
How would you treat your body over the next 24 to 48 hours? What do you have to do?
I'll cut down on the physical, the lifting and the running, and a lot more mental work, watching film, just breaking down film, things like that. Yeah, just being resilient. The team that we are had a slow start to the first half. We came out second half with better energy, better execution, and we picked it up.
Now that those 5 guys up front are starting to get a lot of reps together and stack them now, how is it helping the run game?
That's doing everything. Just those guys getting on the same page, figuring each other out, how they block things, and how they like to do things, just from working to the D tackles to the backers and the double teams and things like that. So it's big getting that momentum and that rhythm.
Tony, you're 10 games into being the lead back. Where's your confidence level?
I feel great. Confidence-wise, I'm good. I'm great.
Tony Pollard from 21 yards out. It was a tough run to get into the end zone. It's been a while since he's been there. He scored twice in the opener against the New York Giants, and now he's back in the end zone against the Carolina Panthers. But I like the question. Patrick Nosey Walker asked the question about it's a quick turnaround going into Thanksgiving, just a couple days before you have to face the Commanders on Thursday. Nate, you've done that turnaround a couple times in your career. What's the number one priority for the Cowboys team this week?
Health. Yes, just make sure you're healthy. Rest when you get opportunities. Take advantage of the walkthroughs. It's going to be all about the mental and the visual. What you see on the film, what you can lock down in your mind, what's up his mind. And I know what Jimmy is when he makes up his mind. So for them two guys not to see eye to eye, 2 Hall of Famers, man, 2 successful gentlemen, not to see eye to eye just bothers. You talk to Troy or Mike or Emmett, he'd be like, you think this will ever happen? And they got wonderment in their eyes and the way they trying to talk about it. But today, out of nowhere, Mr. Jones announces this, and Jimmy's at the game, and you just excited, man. You hyped up about it, and all I wanted to see was when he said, "Yo, my man, you're in the Ring of Honor." To me, that's bigger than the Hall of Fame because where these guys started that together. They started out in Arkansas. You heard the man say we were friends. He made me laugh from the start. Then all of a sudden, you let just a little something because of your egos push you apart. You can't do that. You can't let the sea split you like that. You got to, they say 2 lost ships in the sea, even without wind, eventually find each other. And they found each other today. And you're making the fans, you're making your old players, I'm saying ex-players, but former players happy. I promise you, we'll all be there, Coach. We'll be there for you, Mr. Jones, and we'll be there for Jimmy. Hey, back to back, baby, and then skip a year and take another one. We for real. Them Cowboys coming. It's going to be hard to find. Yeah.
Really cool moment, and I don't think any of us expected it when we woke up this morning that would be the news. Like Nate said, it was a little out of nowhere, but it was still long overdue, Barry. I mean, it was a fun thing to see Nate react the way that he did and to see Cowboys Nation react as well.
Yeah, without a doubt. This is big time. And like Nate said, it was long overdue. And just to see those guys come together, like you just said, kind of bury the hatchet and just honor each other in that way was outstanding. And Nate, you put it best. I mean, there's no one else can say too much after that. I mean, you played for both. You played for one of them. The coach was there with you throughout your whole career there. So it was just outstanding to see those two come together like that.
Yeah, everything that you guys said, but I also think that it's absolutely amazing that these guys both took risk on each other.
Yeah.
You talk about Mr. Jones taking a risk on Coach Johnson, and Coach Johnson taking a risk with him, trusting him that he was going to take care of him. That's absolutely dope. Then you talk about all the things that they went through, came back together. This is what Cowboys Nation needed, and like you said, everybody will be watching that day.
Yeah, I can't wait. We probably won't have Nate Newton on Cowboys OT unless we find a way to get it out to the stadium, because he's going to have to be in attendance for that one. What a day here from the Dallas Cowboys. Week 11, a win. And Jimmy Johnson going into the Ring of Honor. We're going to wrap things up on Cowboys OT right after this.
The Cowboys OT was brought to you by Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the Dallas Cowboys, and by Blockchain.com. Make your crypto play today.
10 games down in the 2023 regular season, 7 to go, and the Dallas Cowboys have 7 wins as they improve to 7-3 on the campaign with the 33-10 win over the Carolina Panthers, their first win in Carolina since 2012. Welcome back in to Cowboys OT. Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. One quick look ahead. It's a short week for the Cowboys. They've got Thanksgiving coming up. What's your favorite Thanksgiving memory?
Oh, it's got to be
playing for the Cowboys.
Oh, memory. I thought you were talking about what's your favorite food. Oh, memory for Thanksgiving. Oh man, that's a tough one. I'd have to say when we beat Washington back then, they were, let's call them the Commanders. So when we beat them, that was a big time performance for us at AT&T Stadium. So it was huge.
Trying to do that again.
John Madden. Every time we rocked and rolled, baby, I was giving out turkey legs, whooping the head. Yeah. John Madden.
I would say mine's back playing against Seattle, my hometown team, and then I have an opportunity to almost have a kickoff return for a touchdown right in front of my family at the old Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, Texas Stadium back in the day. Nate Newton dominated there on Thanksgiving a couple times. We'll be live at 2 o'clock for Cowboys pregame live, 2 o'clock Central Time on Thursday. It'll be a fun holiday. Come spend it with us. Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. That does it for us on Cowboys OT. Enjoy the holiday, everybody. The Cowboys win this one 33-10 over the Panthers.